Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Kathy's Random Acts of Stampin'. I'm so glad that you're here today. I'm always glad when y'all show up, whether you're watching, right after I post this video, or maybe you're watching weeks later. It doesn't matter. I just want to thank you so much. You mean so much to me. And today we're going to be working with a new set called Humble Home. And it is a stamp and punch bundle. And this cute little punch will punch out our little house. The stamp set allows you to build your house out of brick, or you can stamp it and use it like this. And then there's some other little details, like you got doors and windows. Of course, if you were using this one, you would need the doors and windows. And then you've got all these sentiments, and you've got a heart and a little wreath. It's such a cute little set, and I think we can do a lot with it. So I played around with it a little bit this morning, and this is what I came up with. I thought it turned out really cute. I haven't done anything on the inside yet, but we're going to do this again, but we're going to play up, maybe use some different colors and some different pattern paper. I'm using Take a Bow or Bow. This is a really cute little pack of paper, and I think this was with in a suite, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look. It was with a bundle. I did not get the dies. I only got the paper because I thought the paper was very festive. And what these cutout pieces do, the dies, you can make all these pretty bows. That's why it's Take a Bow. And it is called Take a Bow Bundle. It's on page 39 in your mini catalog. But again, I'm centering in on the paper only. And I'm going to show you, I think I want to use this piece this time. It looks very festive. You got a solid green on the back. Not really solid. It's got some little dots in it, but we're going to try using this one. So I'm going to lay my paper out of the way. I'm also going to need my embossing kit, and this is the Essential Embossing Kit, and it comes with the little brush, the tweezers, the embossing buddy. I did put my big brush in here, and also a mono sand eraser. It comes with a tray, but I don't use the tray because I keep my embossing powders in these little dollar sets of Betty Crocker bowls that I picked up at the Dollar Tree. They work great for me. So along with that, we're going to need our Versamark embossing ink. And I'm going to set this over to the side because I don't need it right this moment. And let's go ahead and look at what we're going to do first. We're going to need a card base. And I think for my card base, I've got a real red and a granny apple green, and I thought it would be really pretty to play up our colors with that. So I think I'm going to do my card base out of granny apple green. We're going to go with the granny apple green. So I'm going to bring my trimmer in, and I'm going to put my paper in on the 11-inch side. I'm going to line it up at 5.5, and all I'm going to do is cut this piece in half. That gives me 2 card bases. So when you turn this around and you score this at 4.25, you're going to have 2 card bases. So that's going to be our card base. Then we're going to need a piece of this red or a matte, and I want this to be 4 1/4. 4 1/8. I'm sorry, 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So I'm going to go to 5 1/4, and I'm going to go over 1 more 8, and that will give me 5 3/8. So there is my mat. So we will have this like this. And see how it shows that little bit of green peeking out. And then we're going to take our piece of Designer Series paper, and we're going to cut this in a traditional size mat at 4 about 5 1/4. And then this is going to mat on top of our piece of red. So that's going to mat right there. Now this other piece that we cut off, that strip, we want to cut this down to be the same. I'm going to turn it over. We're going to cut this to be 5 1/4 as well. We're just going to take that little bit off. And we're going to use this as a focal point on the front of our card. So we're going to be using almost all of that paper. I think these are the only two pieces that would be of any waste from that piece of designer series paper. So it's always good when you know you can use the whole thing. All right, so what I want to do next is I want to get my scoreboard out and let's go ahead and score our card base. Y'all know I prefer to use my scoring tool or my scoreboard over the trimmer. I just feel like I always get a much better accurate fold this way. So I scored that at 4 1/4, and we'll fold that over. We'll burnish that with our bone folder, just like this. I like to do both sides to make sure I've got a really good fold. So there we go. There's that. And now we've got these pieces we need to mat together. Something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting these together, and I'm going to use liquid glue for this. So I'm just going to put a little liquid glue. And these you've got to be careful because you're only going to have that 1/16 of a border. So you want to be careful when you put this down, making sure that you're getting just a little peek of that color all the way around. And it takes a little practice. So, don't be hard on yourself. Just take some paper you don't really like and practice doing this. We all have that sheet of paper we really don't care about. You know you do. So now we're going to do the same thing on the card base. We're going to put this whole piece onto our card base. And sit it down being the same way. You're going to have that 1/8 of an inch all the way around. I think there's something so nice and elegant about having the tiny borders. I just love them. So now we have this piece. We're going to use it as a focal point. So I'm going to put that down just like that. I want just that tiny bit to peek over on the left-hand side. So I'm going to put glue on what we've been calling the right side. And then we're just going to lay it down. It's going to fit perfectly across here. Just like that. Press it down. And then we need our circle. If you noticed on this one, I cut a circle and it's kind of a big circle, so I didn't get it from the Stylish Shapes, but I thought maybe for this card I'll use the Stylish Shapes and see how that works, because I did want to change it up a little bit. And you can see that the Stylish Shape is not too much smaller. It's about the same, a little bit smaller, but not much. I'm going to use that, and I'm also going to use, I think, this smaller label die from the Stylish Shapes. So I'm going to cut from my real red. I want to cut the circle, and I want to cut this, but I actually want to cut this piece of paper down, cut off from my circle, and then I'm going to stamp on this one before I do anything further. So let's go ahead and cut this down to where we need it. And when I'm cutting for die cutting, and I know that I only need a certain size piece of paper, I like to lay my die down and I can kind of gauge where my window is to cut. And I know then I'll just pull this away and I know that that's going to give me exactly what I need. And then I'm going to do the same thing with it this direction. I'm going to lay it down, pull that over about there. Look at my window where my blade's going to cut, and that's going to be pretty much on spot. And then cut that. Now this piece we're going to save because we're going to use it for our sentiment. So this is ready to die cut. And let's get this piece ready. And I'm going to stamp the word welcome. And we're going to prep our paper first using our embossing buddy. This is whenever you're doing heat embossing with embossing powder, you want to use an anti-static tool on your paper because your fingerprints, if you have oil, we all have oil in our naturally in our skin. This will do away with the chance of having the embossing powder to stick where you don't want it. So I'm usually very generous with my embossing buddy. I put enough of powder down, it will brush away, so you don't have to worry. I'm going to take my welcome. I've already put it on the stamp, on the stamp block. And I'm going to ink that up really good. You can see I'm tapping. And then I'm going to put this right about here because I want to make sure I can center it. And I'm going to stamp that down. Hold it just for a minute and lift it up. And you can see that did stamp very well. So close my ink. And then I'm going to bring my embossing powder over. And I'm going to cover up that word and then tap it off, cover it and tap it. And I like to do this maybe 3 or 4 times just to ensure that I'm getting enough of embossing powder on that. And that looks really good. So let's close up our embossing powder. And I'm going to take my little brush and I'm just going to brush anywhere that I think it might have been some excess powder. You don't want to hit where you have stamped because it will move. We have not heat set it yet. So then I'm going to grab my heat tool. This is the Stampin' Up! Heat tool. It has 2 settings, 1 and 2. Anytime that you're heat embossing, you want to do it on 2. I'm going to turn it on and let it heat up just for about 30 seconds, and then we'll take it to the paper. Love that. Now, had I thought ahead, I would have went ahead and cut my circle, but I hadn't done that yet, and that's okay. We are going to bring up our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I'll try the little one, hope that it will work. See, I got that should cut through on the small one. So put my plates in, and I'm gonna lay down my piece. And then I'm going to cover it with my plate. And I'm scattering my plate ahead so that when it feeds in, it's going to grab just that one plate first. And that kind of ensures that it's going to pull through. And there is our circle all cut. And we'll lay that over here. And now we're going to take our welcome. And for this one, I am going to use my tape because I want to make sure I get this perfectly straight. So I want my welcome to look nice and straight and even in here. So I'm going to use my Post-it flags just to hold that in place. And we're going to put this in like so. Again, scatter that plate up. And that cut beautifully. So now we've got those two pieces done. We can do our other heat embossing on our circle. And for this one, we are going to use the stamp that says from our house to yours. I think that's so nice. And we're going to stamp it kind of over here in the right side of this circle. So, kind of center it, but get it right in the middle. And we're going to use that Versamark watermark ink pad to do this one as well. Now I need to prep my paper. Almost forgot. And it's so easy to do that because you don't have to do that when you're using regular ink. But sometimes you have to really remind yourself, oh, I need to prep my paper before I stamp if I'm using Versamark. So I got that done. So now we are going to take this right here and press it. Oop. There we go. It really stuck to that paper, but that's okay. And now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to grab my embossing powder and we are going to sprinkle and sprinkle and sprinkle. Like I said, I like to do it about 3 to 4 times. I kind of go on the side of 4 rather than 3 because I want to make sure I got enough of that embossing powder on here. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take my brush and just brush away anywhere that I think I might have gotten some that I don't want it. And I want to show you about these tweezers. These come in so handy because you can hold this when you get ready to heat set it and you won't burn your fingers because this heat gun gets really, really warm. So be careful with it if you're using one because they do get very, very hot. So I'm going to turn it on. It's already preheated because we used it a minute ago. So that was quick and easy. And now we have this piece ready to go onto our card. And we have this piece ready to go. We need our little house. So this is just the cutest little thing ever. I mean, stinking cute. So I thought that maybe I would do this in crumb cake. I don't know how that's going to look, but it might be pretty. So we're going to use crumb cake and how about early espresso? I don't know. I just think that might, you don't want to do that. You do not want to put your fingers in the ink. So let me clean up my fingers. I have my little alcohol wipes over here that I make myself. I have a video. If I can remember to do it, I'll link it below. They're nothing but just the Equate sensitive wipes. And I fill it up with about a half a bottle of alcohol. And it gives me wonderful alcohol wipes that I use for cleaning my tools, my hands, or whatever. So let's take our house and ink him up. And I'm going to go right about here. Isn't that so cute? Okay. Don't think we need the ink, so I'm dangerous around the open ink pad, so I'm going to close that one up. And we're going to take our cute little punch and slide this in. Get it lined up exactly the way you want it. and give it a punch. And you also get a little square, a little dot, and a heart. I don't need those. I might use the heart, but I don't need the others. I need my little house. Isn't that so cute? So cute. And then our little house is going to go something like that. Isn't that cute? Such a simple card, but yet it does make a statement. So I'm going to close my punch down, get it out of my way. And then we got the little heart we can use. And I also want to do some embellishments on here. I think the little heart looks really cute there. Or if you wanted to do a white one to match your embossing, you could very easily take a scrap of white. I think I got a little scrap of white right here. And all you would have to do is just bring it up where your heart's at. And punch that out wherever it went. And it does, oh, there it is. And then you'd have a little white heart put right there. I think I like the white one. It shows up so good on that red. All right, so let's go ahead and glue this straight down. So I'm going to use some, oops, I dropped my heart after all. I got it. So I'm going to take some liquid glue and I'm going to put on the back of this a nice little amount. And then you want to pay special attention to getting your sentiment straight when you put this down. Now this I want to pop up, and the house I want to pop up. So I'm going to give that just another little rub right there. And I'm going to turn that over and grab maybe one, two, three, and four. I think four would be plenty to hold that in place. And then we're going to decide where we want to set it. Something like that. And then the welcome's going to go right there. And I'm going to pop that up on dimensionals as well. So I think we're only going to need 3 on this little piece. And then we're going to put that right there. And let's look at our, take a peek at these embellishments. These are the ones I really wanted to look at. And of course, it's stuck to another cat. The little peppermints. I thought they would be so cute on this card. And I have not opened these yet, so I'm going to take my scissors. Y'all know this is the way I like to do mine. I like to cut the side piece of the cellophane off. And then I slide them out, and I can pull off exactly what I need. So I'm going to grab my take your pick. And I think I want one where that heart is. We're going to put a peppermint. And then I'm going to take some of the larger ones. And let's put one. Let's put one right here. And maybe here. Oops, I got green stuff off of my take your pick tool. That's okay, it always comes off really easy. So that is our embellishments. Now we need to do the inside of our card. And we need to put our little heart on the card. Now for the heart, I'm going to try popping it up on a dimensional. And we'll use a mini. I'm going to do it like this. Let's put that right there. And then I'm going to use the putty end and then see if I can get that right over top of it. That worked out perfect. How stinking cute is that? We haven't even put it, oh yeah, we did. It's on the card base. We need to do an inside. So I am going to take a piece of white. I'm not going to double mat the inside. Some of you like that, but some of you say it's such a waste of paper. So I like to do my layering on the outside. Now you can very well layer this. I'm just going to cut this off 4 inches. And I'm going to turn it and cut it at 5 1/4. Just a basic standard mat for an A2 size card. And for my inside, I love that. Thank you for coming. I love, love, love that. I think I'm going to do that. Thank you for coming. This would be a great card if you had a party and you wanted to thank someone for coming, for showing up for your Christmas party or whatever, or a housewarming. This could be used for so much more than just Christmas, for sure. Such a versatile set. And I'm going to try to get this kind of where it looks like one big sentiment. And I'm going to pick both pieces up with my block. And I'm going to bring this out of my card for just a minute. And I want to stamp it in red. In real red, we are going to put a nice little stamp in that. Beautiful. Thank you for coming. Then we got this little strip of paper that was left over. How cute would that be right there at the bottom? So again, now we only have this piece left over that we didn't use from that one sheet of 6 by 6. And I'm going to bring it all the way to the bottom. Just like that. So festive. Let's close this up. And if you wanted to, you could take your markers, either your Stampin' Right or your Stampin' Blends, and you could go over the thank you. I kind of like it like that. I think it gives it a little different character. So I'm going to leave it as is, and I'm going to put some glue. My little tip to start putting out some glue. I have to prime it again. I've been having to prime this more often, but it's not a big deal. For the convenience of having my most favorite glue in a device that makes it so easy to use, I am not going to complain about having to open the tip every now and then. I think with any glue that we use, we would have that issue. So, and it's an easy fix. And now we're just going to glue this inside. And there is our festive little card. I hope y'all have enjoyed the making of this card. I think it turned out stinking cute. I love it. I love it. I love it. I think it is adorable. The white heart with the white embossing, and then you've got the white background. It just kind of all pulls together, and I love it. So this was not my design. I actually saw another girl do this. She's from Canada. Her name is Angela. And if I can find the video, I'll link it. But I saw it sometime during the night when you can't sleep and you turn on YouTube. So I will try my best to go back through my history and see if I can find it. But she did this, but she didn't use a strip. Hers was a little bit different, but the layout with the circle in the house was the same. But I did change mine up quite a bit. So when I see an idea like that, I like to give credit to where it's due, but I also like to change it up and make it mine. And that's what I did with this one. So thanks so much for tuning in. God bless and keep you. And as I always say in closing, let everything that you do and say bring honor and glory to our Savior Jesus. He is worthy. If you are interested in any of the products that I use today, I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I would absolutely love the opportunity to earn your business. So my link to my store will be in the description box below. Also, if you go to my blog, you can find everything about this card, including the free PDF tutorial with all the measurements and the product numbers and everything that I used. God bless and keep you, and until next time, bye-bye.